Hello, friends. Welcome to the channel where we dive deep into the darkest corners of games, movies, and reality to uncover the creepiest secrets and theories that could make even the bravest among us shudder. If you're ready to face what lurks in the shadows, you're in the right place. Today, we'll be talking about a character who might seem innocent and friendly at first, but behind that image lies an unimaginable nightmare. Who is he? Really? Doumi the Domin, a cute ball of dough? Or a walking nightmare made from human souls? What are the experiments of Playtime Company hiding? And why do his inner demons so desperately want to escape from their bodily prison? If you think you know who Doumi is, this video will make you reconsider. Be prepared for what you're about to see because it may change the way you look at the world we all play in. So sit back, turn off the lights, and don't forget to subscribe, because what's coming next will reveal the darkest theories about the Poppy Playtime universe. Now, get ready to find out what Doumi is hiding, and what's really going on at this horrifying factory. Doumi the Dough Man. At first glance, he's just a cute ball of dough, created for the game. But what if his story is much darker? This being is not just a toy. There are terrifying secrets hidden within him, and his behavior makes us question what we're really seeing. When you first encounter Doumi in the game, his behavior seems friendly. He smiles, moves smoothly, and appears ready to help the player. But if you look a little closer, strange things start to surface. His movements are unnatural, his voice almost mechanical, and his eyes are empty, devoid of any sign of human soul. What if Doumi isn't just a toy? What if his creation was the result of a horrific experiment where several human lives were merged into one entity, trapped inside a dough body? According to some theories, Doumi is the result of Playtime Company's dreadful experiments, which aimed to transfer human consciousness into toy bodies. The legend goes that 3 children, Kevin Barnes, Jack Ayers, and Matthew Hallard, were kidnapped by the company and became part of one experiment. Their minds were forcibly merged into one body, and now they are trapped inside this monstrous form. Imagine this 3 different personalities, 3 different souls, trying to coexist in one body that can't feel or move properly. They are crammed into this dough shell, condemned to an eternal battle for control. Some players claim to have noticed strange sounds coming from Doumi in certain locations. These sounds aren't like the usual creaks or mechanical noises. They sound more like whispers, quiet, barely audible voices, as if someone is calling for help. These voices may belong to the children whose souls were absorbed into this monster. At one point in the game, you can even see Doumi suddenly stop, and it seems like he's listening to these sounds. His gaze becomes frightened, almost desperate. This is supported by other documents found around the factory. One mentions an experiment involving mind transfer. This confirms that Doumi might be the result of an attempt to create a creature that has no self, but is aware of everything happening. Perhaps Doumi was created as a control experiment for the company to study how multiple personalities can coexist in one body. But it's not that simple. There are moments in the game when Doumi starts acting strangely, and it's not just him trying to scare the player. Sometimes his behavior becomes aggressive, as if he's struggling with something inside. This isn't just the actions of a toy performing its role. This is a being that perhaps realizes its fate, and its aggression isn't just malice, it's a cry for help. He's fighting to escape from this body, but every time his desires are crushed by the reality he finds himself in. What if he's not alone in this body? At one point in the game, he freezes and reaches out to the player, as if trying to make contact. But then, his hand is immediately pulled back, and it looks like an internal struggle is taking place. Maybe one of the personalities inside him wants to ask for help, but the others won't allow it, fighting for control. In the laboratories of Playtime Company, experiments were carried out to create the perfect monster, and Doumi could have been part of that. Perhaps not all versions of this project were as successful. Documents mention a project called Doughman -13, which suggests that Doumi wasn't the first of his kind. Were there other creatures that didn't succeed and were destroyed? Or were they abandoned, still wandering through the factory's dark hallways waiting to be found? It's possible that in one of those hallways we might come across even more horrifying versions of Doumi, previous failed attempts to create the perfect creature. Another eerie detail is the strange graffiti scattered around the factory. It seems to have been left by someone who was part of these experiments. On the walls, you can find messages like, "We are not dough. We are souls," which raises a sense of dread. Who could have left these words? A factory worker who pitied the children used in these experiments? Or perhaps it was the creations themselves, trying to warn us about what's happening. These aren't just random scribbles, but a sign that in each of these toys, there is still a human consciousness, struggling to break free. In the final moments of the game, Doumi becomes more aggressive, and it seems like he's losing control. But in one of the closing scenes, he takes a step back, almost as if he's trying to understand what's going on. It's a moment when his internal personalities are clashing. Is Doumi doomed to forever exist in this body? Or will he ever find a way to break free from his nightmare? Every character in Poppy Playtime, every monster, hides its own tragic story. But Doumi is certainly one of the most painful examples. He wasn't just created to be evil, he was created to be a victim. A victim of the factory that not only destroyed his life, but also robbed him of his humanity. His body, filled with pain and suffering, will be a constant reminder of experiments that should never have happened. And in the end, will he ever find peace? Or will he be trapped in this body forever, fighting for his soul? Well, that's it for today, friends. We've peered into the darkest corners of Playtime Company and tried to uncover what Doumi the Doman is really hiding. As always, behind every monster and creepy character lies a tragic story. And perhaps Doumi isn't just a creature, but a reflection of soulless experiments that crossed all boundaries. What's really going on at Playtime Company? We don't know all the answers yet, but the more we explore, the more secrets unfold. Let's hope that someday we can unravel all the mysteries of this horrifying world. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you won't miss new creepy theories. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Doumi, and share your own theories about what's lurking in the dark corners of Playtime Company. Maybe one of you has solved even more secrets. Thanks for being with us. Take care and remember, the world of toys isn't always what it seems. See you in the next video, if of course, they don't find us first.